It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. Please put in the chat where you're from and who you are. When we start reviewing the news articles, if you want to look at our Facebook page, just click here and you can follow the articles along as we go. See you in a moment. Good morning or afternoon or wherever you are. I'm Ron Brown. This is Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. This is welcome in our meeting today. I'm broadcast from StreamYard out to Zoom and Facebook. If you're listening to this as a YouTube short, just click the link and it'll take you right to the show today. We'll be with you for about an hour. We have a great panel today to go over the news of the week. I'll introduce those in a minute. We have, here we do. You're supposed to go like this, not like this. You're supposed to go like this. And so we have a great show for you today. We're going to be talking a little bit about Chat-gpt today. Interesting. We all use it. It's a big part of our lives now. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that before we get to the the news of the week. So our show today will be about an hour, and it is taped. So if you miss it or you want to see it again, you can certainly watch that. And you're probably wondering, oh, before I get further, if you're out there listening, we have no idea if we're just talking together. We talked for about an hour before the show. We're great friends, and we just like to get together and talk. So, but we have no idea if anyone's out there listening. So if you're out there, if you wouldn't mind just dropping a note in the chat and saying where you're from, what the weather is, and hey, maybe do you use Chat-gpt? Have you heard about it, or is it affecting your life, or what do you think about it? So put something in there and let us have it, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So we're the same gang that is from our Monday show. So we have a big show on Monday, and that actually is a Zoom meeting. And we have a Zoom meeting, and we have a big show. All of us participate. We've been doing it now, almost coming up to 4 years, eh, Huey? 4 years. Like, where does time go, right? So we've been doing that. So that's on our Monday show, but that's a Zoom meeting, and we broadcast that out through Zoom to YouTube. And then, of course, we have this show on Thursday, and then an hour later from now, we've got another show, right, Huey? What are we doing in another hour?
Oh, well, let's try something about Chromebooks and try to learn something about them.
What's a Chromebook? How would we find out about Chromebooks?
Well, come listen to it.
Come to listen to our show. He and I've been learning Chromebooks now for 2 years. We'll be moving into our third year now, so it's a monthly show. We register. You have to register for it, and you can certainly find that at our website, which is, of course, techforsenior.com. If you go there and click the button, you can find out where to register for it, and we'll be doing that in about an hour after this show. So you can come and listen. It's free. We don't charge, and it's a monthly show we do. We also, and then of course we podcast out this show as well, so you can listen to a podcast as well. So thanks again for everyone for coming. Let me introduce our esteemed panel. Now, you may all think that we're sitting in a big room and we're in a big conference room and somehow we're doing this, but no, it's through the magic of technology. We are all over the country. In fact, we're in different countries on different coasts, right? But I want to welcome Bob back, because Bob, of course, was traveling the high seas for the last 3 weeks. But like a soldier, he kept all his appointments, commitments. He was on the show, our Monday show, our Thursday show. He produced videos on the ship. You just never stopped, and it was and it man, technology, like internet on the ship, computers, all the stuff you did was crazy, right?
What was funny was that what worked so well on board ship was Zoom.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had all kinds of problems when it came to email or to going to the internet to visit websites. That was slower than molasses, and most things you had to refresh because it wouldn't load the first time. But anything I did within Zoom, including producing videos, I didn't have any problems.
Huh.
Make no sense, but it worked. So why complain?
Yeah. That's good. Well, it's nice to see you back, but you really never left. I thought we'd miss you after 3 weeks, but you were always there and you were always doing your videos and everything. It never really changed, right?
Sorry about that.
No. Yeah, well, it was fun seeing. It was fun being on the show, and came in from Hawaii. That was sort of cool. Excellent, good job. Bob, of course, is our security expert. He talks about all things around security on our show, but also talks on a lot more. He is a very prolific YouTube producer of all sorts of technology. So we're happy to have you back, Bob. Now, the co-host on Monday, our Monday show, and of course, the two of us are doing Learning Chromebooks, is, of course, Huey Popluck, and he's from Bradenton, Florida. Huey's a very busy guy. He, of course, hosts a lot of other conferences that he does. So Huey, how are you sort of getting your workload down to a manageable run now, or what's happening?
No, and I just got a bunch of requests for APCUG's Speakers Bureau for the next few months. So I'm going to be doing a lot of user group presentations as well.
Yeah. Well, we got a big morning, and so what the heck? It's going to be fun, right?
Yep, absolutely. It always is.
It is. We always say after the morning over, we say, wow, that was sort of cool. And then, of course, we have our music director for our Monday show. He's a great guy, and he's very knowledgeable. He talks about music clubs, setting up music clubs around the country, and it's really interesting, the work that he does in that. He's also the president of APCUG, which is the Association of Personal Computer User Group. Hey, I got that again. And also they let him hold the money. He's also an honest guy because he's the treasurer of the club. His claim to fame is he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet, right? And that, of course, is Mr. Ray Baxter from Pine, Arizona.
Thank you so much, Ron. As I've told you before, flattery will get you everywhere.
Yes, indeed. So thanks for coming, everyone, and welcome. So listen, I want to get going. Well, before we get moving ahead, Huey, let's check in with our audience and see if there's any comments, and before we get on with Chat-gpt. Liz says hi from Ohio. Well, hi, Liz. Mike Ungerman, of course, is a regular on our show. He produces. He's done, of course, home solar energy on your house, and he did a 5-part series for us, and he's doing one on EV cars now. So Mike says, why did the AI cross the road to get to the other algorithm? All right, there you go. Bernard, Sterling Heights Computer Club, Detroit, Michigan. John Slinger, Philadelphia. John, is this John's first time? Do you know?
I don't recognize the name.
John, we like to give a big shout out for the people who this is their first time on the show. So welcome. Thank you for coming. We like to acknowledge new people. Now, I apologize if you have been on the show or listened all the time and we just haven't noticed you, but we do notice you now. And so thank you for coming and listening. Bob Baxter, Bellevue, Washington, 44 degrees and no rain today. Dick Vogel, watching and listening to a cool 62 degrees, sunny in Central Florida. Are you another Florida bragger about the nice weather like Huey is?
Yeah, but it's cool today.
Yeah.
Excuse me, you said cool? It was 15 degrees this morning. I came back
cold.
to Siberia. Yeah, right. We expect a high of 29.
One of my favorite expressions in life is everything is relative.
Yeah.
Dick says, Mike, really? Clark Walker, cloudy, 43 degrees near Trenton, New Jersey. A lot of rain last night, but no snow. Irving, watching from Deerfield Beach, Florida, pleasant and 73 degrees, right?
Yeah, he's a little bit farther south, and he's down along the Gulf Stream, so it's always warmer down there.
Joan from Victoria, hello. Sally, Kirkland, Washington, Chat-gpt is fun to try. Yeah, it is. It's great. We'll talk about that in a minute. Havana, hi, it's 41 degrees, North Texas, and breezy. And GF2 Dragon, good day from Arcadia.
Yeah, it's Jim Gould.
Oh, is that Jim? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are they traveling, or where's?
No, maybe it's the other Jim. Jim
Yeah,
T.
because
in
that's a computer club.
California. Yeah.
Yeah.
Golden State.
California Jim.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome.
He just couldn't
Welcome,
get his
Jim.
name straight.
Yeah. Welcome. Because we have Jim Gould from, who's regular. He's Geeks on Tour, and so it's always confusing. Bernard joining from the first time from
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Okay. Welcome to you. We'll give you a big hand of applause. Thank you for coming and listening. That's great. That's really good. Hopefully we'll have a good talk for you today. So before we get on with the news of the week, which we'll be doing, I wanted to talk about Chat-gpt, and we've got a lot of news articles about that. It is really taking the world by a storm. And I thought that, first of all, what is Chat-gpt? Well, Chat-gpt refers to General Pre-training Transformer. What the heck is that all about? That's not me. Anyway, it's a weird name, but it is artificial intelligence, and we've all four of us have used it and had some fun with it. So we're going to talk a little bit about our experiences on using Chat-gpt, and we have some videos for you as well. I know Ray's got a video, I've got a video, and then I'm just going to play my video first. We'll go around sort of in the squares here, and we'll go around. And I wanted just to show everyone, because of course, this we'll be talking a lot about it in the news circle. Now, I was having a shower this morning, and I was listening to one of the instructors on Canva talk about using Chat-gpt on making YouTube videos. And I thought I just jotted this down this morning, and I thought that this is very interesting, and it gives you a little different perspective on how you might want to use Chat-gpt. So let's just watch this. Let me come up and we'll just get the video here, and we'll watch this. Now, you all know that Hugh and I are doing a show in about a couple of hours now on Chromebooks. So this is sort of relates to that. Here we go. I have a new video coming out shortly, and I've labeled it Chromebook Tips for 2023. Huey asked me yesterday what the title of my talk I'm going to do in the next hour, and I chose Chromebook Tips for 2023. Now, I'm not sure that's really the title that I want to use when I launch this on YouTube. So I'm now in Chat-gpt, and I'm going to come down and see if Chat-gpt can actually give me a better title. So I've asked it, could you optimize this title for SEO on YouTube? Chromebook Tips for 2023. And I'm going to ask Chat-gpt if it can come up with a better title for me. Let's see what it comes up with. 2023 Chromebook Tips, optimize your device for maximum productivity and efficiency. Well, that may be sort of what I want, but let's see if we can get some more options. So I'm going to type in here, please provide me with more options. And let's see what it...
Wow.
So now it gives me 10 options, which are pretty impressive. There's some really interesting stuff. Let's come down here. 2023 Chromebook productivity tips, how to get more done in less time. 2023 Chromebook tips and tricks, unlock the full potential of your advice. So it comes down, and so we have now a new titles for my video, and I'm going to choose one of these. This is a lot better than 2023 Chromebook tips. So I just made that this morning. I thought, hey, that's pretty darn good. Isn't that good? Yeah.
Titles are excellent. The only problem is you aren't going to get any answers out of Chat-gpt on anything that occurred beyond 2021.
That's right, but that's not exactly what I'm asking it because I wanted to, that
you have some excellent titles that it can supply, but it will not give you any information pertaining to what's new in 2023.
Right. All right, so that's interesting. So Bob, so Huey, let's go to you because you've used Chat-gpt. What have you used it for, and what do you think?
Well, I've written a couple articles for the Tech for Senior newsletter using it.
Yeah.
And it did a better job than I did.
Well, that's right. I'm not a good writer, and I don't really find writing very easy to do. So I did some news articles too for the newspaper, right?
And rather than talking about what I've done with it, I did a little research on it a little bit. The fellow that's CEO of OpenAI, which is Chat-gpt, and what is the
Sam Altman?
His name is Sam Altman. He is 37 years old. The original company formed 7 years ago. It was only the Chat-gpt was just launched in November. So that's why we're hearing a lot about it now, and why we didn't hear about it the last few months before then, because it's brand new. But it's really taken the world by storm. And some of the early investors were Reid Hoffman, the PayPal and LinkedIn co-founder, Tasha McCauley, a virtual reality entrepreneur, Adam DeAngelo, an early Facebook executive, Siobhan Zillis, project director at Elon Musk's brain-computer interface company, Neuralink. And actually, Neuralink and OpenAI shared the same building. Their offices were in the same building. And then Vinod Khosla, the Sun Microsystems co-founder, was an early backer. And of course, Elon Musk, the SpaceX and Tesla CEO. So there's some big names involved in this. Microsoft put in $1 billion, and now they're talking about another $10 billion they're going to invest in it. So
all right, so that's it. Yes, that's a bit of the history. So it's a big deal. It really has taken the world by a storm. This is pretty cool. Now Ray's used it. Ray actually has a video for us. Now I'm going to play Ray's video. Ray uses it now for the our music. He has a music section in our on our Monday show, and he always highlights a musician and talks about them. And so he writes a whole article about it and then plays the music. But the last couple of weeks, Ray, you've actually, that article is being made by Chat-gpt, right?
With quite a bit of modifications by me, and I'll explain about that when after you see the video.
Okay, all right, let's play the video.
Okay, after you've created your new chat account, and they make you go through some hoops to prove that you're not a bot or a robot. And once you're finished all that, then you're on this particular page where you can now start what you're going to look for it to do for you. They give you some examples if you don't have anything in mind, and they caution you about capabilities. The one area on limitations that's a couple. The first one says may occasionally generate incorrect information. But the last one here, limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. So the way they have the sources set up here that they glean the information from, it really is only complete up through the end of 2021. So I'm going to type here, create a 400-word article on Christine McVie of Fleetwood Mac. And I click that. And now you can see it's coming and typing up a report for me, an article. Talks about British singer, songwriter, when she joined the band, quickly established as the key songwriter, where she was born, what year, the kind of information that I typically might take an hour or so to glean from Wikipedia or some of the other sources that I use. Here, it's coming out and should be complete in about less than a minute's time. Continuing. Again, if I would have told it to do 2,000 words, I'm not sure what it would do. It tends to repeat stuff, but I'll take a look at this, and I probably will make some changes. I'll have to make, of course, add the fact that she did pass away in November of last year. But this is what Chat-gpt can do. It's writing the last paragraph, where it kind of repeats some of the information that it mentioned before, but capsulizes it in one paragraph. And boom, we're done with a 400-page report. I'm going to now just copy this into a Word document, and that'll be the way I will probably start to do most of my reports. I'll get this kind of basic information and then just make some changes, but I'll always give credit that Chat did this for me. So I'm going to stop recording of this now.
So there you go. Well done, Ray. It is. I mean, to try and find all that information would take a lot of time. Do you have to go and look it up and find it?
It does. Some of it I know, but a lot of it, you're right, I have to look at it. So here's a couple of things I want to mention about that. I live in Arizona. I've tried to get on Chat-gpt several times in the daytime. Impossible. Servers are always busy. So I now have to do my research at about 2 a.m. And then I can get on, no problem. The other thing that I found was ironic is you have to go through all these hoops to prove you're not a bot. Here, artificial intelligence is asking me to prove that I'm not a robot. That is the definition of ironic.
All right.
So on the positive side, it gives me a lot of information to work with. The negatives, it repeats a lot of stuff. If I say 400 words, in order to make it reach 400 words, it repeats, and I don't need it to repeat. So I do quite a bit of modifications, but it definitely has saved me probably 30 to 40 minutes worth of time without me looking up some of the basic information. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, right. I'd like to add a couple of things, excuse me, that in an interview, Sam Altman said, he was asked what was the best and the worst of the open API, or the open AI. Because as for the best, he said, I think the best case is so unbelievably good that it's hard for me to even imagine. I can sort of imagine what it's like when we have just like unbelievable abundance and systems that can help us resolve deadlocks and improve all aspects of reality and let us all live our best lives. But I can't quite. I think the good case is just so unbelievably good that you sound like a really crazy person to start talking about it. Let me clear my throat and then find the article again. There we go. His thoughts on the worst case scenario, though, were pretty bleak. The bad case, and I think this is important to say, is like lights out for all of us, Altman said. I'm more worried about an accidental misuse case in the short term, and I think it's like impossible to overstate the importance of AI safety and alignment work. I would like to see much, much more happening. Experts have warned that Chat-gpt could be abused for purposes like carrying out scams, conducting cyber attacks, spreading misinformation and enabling plagiarism. So
All right.
there's good and bad about all.
Good and bad about everything. Bob, now you've written some articles, you've done some videos about it. You're in this quite a bit. What's your assessment? How do you find it?
Fantastic as a stimulator if you use it in that way.
Right.
Terrible if you just simply use it and do no modifications whatsoever.
Right.
Okay. Also, you got to be careful. Chat-gpt is pretty damn good at writing code. So
Yes.
it can be used for bad as well as good.
Right.
Use it properly, and it's a fantastic tool because you need to supply it with good information to get good information back. Chat-gpt is limited because it only supplies information through a certain date. Now, I just recently made a video on some new feature that's going to be coming to Windows 11. Chat-gpt would have been of absolutely no use trying to write anything for it. But there is something that you can use that actually has current information. It is not meant to be the same as Chat-gpt, because Chat-gpt actually talks to you like a human being, describes things like a human being would. Most AI is strictly knowledge. It passes along what it knows, and it's pretty cut and dry. But if you're looking for something new, and if you're using a Chrome browser, there's actually a Chrome extension that you can add to Chrome and that you can use in lots of places, like in your emails, or when you're doing something like, for instance, if I'm putting together a video and there's a description you want to make for the video you just created. And what I have done is, let me just swap to it. I did a video on Windows 11 tabbed notepad, which is something that'll be coming out soon. Now, the product that I used for that is called Composed AI to generate the description. And it simply came up with tabbed notepad is a new feature coming to Windows 11 that will allow users to open multiple notes in the same window. With tabbed notepad, users will be able to quickly switch between notes without having to open multiple windows. Additionally, users will be able to easily organize their notes by organizing them into different tabs. This will make it easier to find and access notes quickly. And I put on here that I used Compose AI to generate this description. I'm not taking credit for it, but it's a tool, it's available. So why not use it?
So lots more. I use, of course, I've used a Writer, Ryter, this year, and also a product called Quillbot. So there are a lot of different choices on the that we have. Healy, before we get on to the news articles, do you have any comments that we need to go over?
Yeah, let's.
Let me add one more item. You also need to be careful with Chat-gpt. It will simply make up something, and you have to know what you're looking at, because you could be passing along totally erroneous information. So
Yes.
be careful.
JJ from Waukegan. How did I do? Waukegan.
You said it right.
Did I get
All
it? Did
right.
I nail it? Waukegan, and snow flurries for the past 2 days with measurable snow of the season. Cold, yikes. Bernard, they say students may use it to cheat on school exams. We'll talk about that in some of the news articles. That's an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah, because the city of New York has banned it from their
That's
from
right.
their
Yeah.
computers. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike says, as I'm sure Bob knows, hackers are now using ChatGPT to help write malware code. Yeah. Indeed. Olive says that happens if what happens if a robot uses ChatGPT? I've met some people that seem to be able to talk nonstop. Maybe they were robots.
Maybe I fit into that category.
Maybe
right.
we all do.
I do. Yes, indeed. I guess we should probably get to work, eh? People are probably wondering
Yep.
what about the news of the week, eh?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, let's get on with that. Let me see if I can share my screen. What's going on here? Here we go. Sure. All right, let me see if we can get this open a bit better. Now, just to let everyone know, if you want to follow along with us as we go over the news, this is our Facebook page, and if you go over there, you'll see all the news articles that we post on the for the show on our page. You can go back and reference this if you're interested in the articles. They're all right there on our Facebook page, and you actually don't have to be a member of Facebook. You can just view these as a web page. So anyway, have a look at that if you want to follow along, or we'll certainly put them up for us here. All right, so let's come down and see who got the first article today. I don't know. Everyone sneaks along and they try to post as doing the first part of the show. Let's see who got the Bob. Bob, you won today. Ray's been doing pretty good. I think he got the last 2 weeks, didn't he?
That's because I had a little problem getting to the internet.
Yeah.
You can only beat Bob when he's out on the ocean.
Yeah, Ray understands how the system works now, and he's sort of beating the system.
Not today.
Not today. All right,
Yes,
Bob, what's with this?
Okay, so how much do you know about cybersecurity? And this is a little quiz. And actually, I'm going to be the article that I put out on Tuesday is actually going to include part of this particular test.
Okay. If we don't make it, if we don't pass the test, do we have to take your course?
No, because the course is part of or the ending of this test.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that'll be interesting.
And I got news for you. It's pretty damn tricky.
So maybe, do you think what we should all have to do is all 4 of us do the test, and then we have to tell about our scores on Monday?
No, not fair.
Not fair,
because you're all gonna flunk.
Oh, it's a tough test, is it? All right. Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. Okay. All right, Healy, what's with this?
It's an article. It says can't hear dialogue on TV. Here's how to fix it. There's actually on a lot of TVs, there's actually a setting that can help you hear better, and it's worth trying. I just saw this morning, so I haven't had a chance to play with it myself. But in the end of the article, it basically says if none of this works, then the best way to be able to hear better is to get one of the sound bars and put it in front of your TV.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I put this up. This was an article I saw this morning. After inking its OpenAI deal, Shutterstock rolls out a generative AI toolkit to create images based on text prompts. So all I wanted to sort of throw out there now is what we're seeing. You'll see some of the articles today is a lot of the services now are adding AI into them. And of course, Canva is one of the big programs that I use all the time now. And in fact, that first video I showed you this morning was one of the courses I'm doing on Canva. And that was where I sort of got the idea for that. But just to let you know, and Canva also has text to image AI. So you're going to see this. Now, Microsoft said they're going to be adding AI, this Chat-gpt, to Office, for example. So you're going to see lots of integration quickly coming up of AI into services. So just interesting to
the interesting part of this, and I also posted it earlier today. The Shutterstock is a paid service for different graphics and pictures, and a lot of their stuff is really good. And so what they're doing is using their own pictures they're going to create new things and allow you to use them, but it's all part of their service, so it's paid. You don't get it for free.
But if you look at the photos that are part of the Facebook page we're looking at, you'll notice there's one nice little one of a sunrise. That's also created by AI, and that's before I left for Hawaii. I asked AI to create that picture.
Well, Bob did a video. We're not going to play it right now for time reasons, but Bob did a video of his whole trip before he left. He had AI do the images, write the script, and write everything of his whole trip to Hawaii before he left. That was crazy. Yeah. So let's have a look here. So this is another interesting one. This was in the news this morning. How you can use Chat-gpt on your immigration journey. So there are services now in which, of course, as you know, whether in Canada, the United States, you're trying to immigrate into the country, it can be a nightmare. So the Chat-gpt now helps you fill in the forms, write what you're supposed to write, and work on the immigration process. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's revolutionized things like in months. This is crazy. I just get so excited about it. But that was a very interesting article. So I put this up, Huey, just to what were we doing in another hour again?
We're doing learning Chromebooks.
Learning Chromebooks. Isn't that interesting? There's a Chromebook article here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that also reminds me to remind everybody that we do have a Learning Chromebooks Facebook page where we do the same thing as we're doing here, but all of the articles are Chromebook related. So if you're interested in Chromebooks or you have one, make sure you check that Facebook page out as well.
And I put that's the link right there, which is Learning Chromebooks on our Facebook page. Thanks for reminding me that. That's good. Thanks, Huey. That's what I put that article in. So this was an interesting article. Teachers are lining up for Chat-gpt detector created by this 22-year-old in Toronto. And this young fella created a detector that you can now run and over articles and see if it, I guess it's like a plagiarism detector. So lots of stuff. Someone mentioned New York is out trying to outlaw this. I guess I don't know. I have a different feeling towards this. I suppose if back when automobiles came, and there were a few automobiles in New York, and they drove around, and they still had lots of horses. People on horses would probably say, look, why would anyone buy a car? Because there's no gas stations. How would you drive the car across the United States? There's no gas stations, right? I guess, are we not saying the same thing about Chat-gpt? I mean, you can't put this back in the bottle, and it's not going to go away, and it's only going to get better. So we have to incorporate it into our training, and maybe it can be helpful, right?
I used the example last week, I think it was, that calculators. When calculators first came on the scene, kids were using them in school. We said, oh, no, we can't let them do that. But as time evolved, we realized, and the teaching professions actually incorporated using calculators into their lesson plan. I think the same thing will happen here.
Right. I think I'm probably going to do an article on this for the Monday show. Garmin just is now entering into the ECG market. We've talked a lot about health issues and on your watch, and particularly the ability to do an ECG. Garmin has just released this watch. It's only this particular model that but the FDA has just approved the ECG app on this Garmin watch. It's the first. Normally we talk about, of course, Fitbit, Apple, and of course Samsung's watch, but this is the first one for Garmin that actually has the ECG app on it. I think I'll probably do a little talk about it on Monday. But this is by Garmin, so this was a big thing that just came out this week.
Ron, since your phone now does a better job of getting you from A to B, Garmin isn't really needed anymore because I still have one of their products that I
Right.
use for traveling, but
Right.
my
Yeah, I do
phone does a
too.
better job. So, you know,
Yeah.
they have to diversify. If they don't, they'll be gone.
Yes. So interesting. So it's interesting, very interesting. And this is their Garmin watch. My daughter has a Garmin watch, and she doesn't use it for this, but she runs and so on and so forth. She really likes it. She's quite enthusiastic about it. This was an interesting article that came out, and just to show you how far we've come in wearables, this is a new product that's coming out where a wearable ultrasound patch could offer real-time heart scans on the go. So we're actually now going to be able to put a device on you, and it's actually going to do an ultrasound as you're actually moving around. This is a dynamic ultrasound with wearable technology. I thought that's really cool. So amazing what we're coming up with. Huey, Plex, what's Plex?
Plex is an online service, but also you can have it as a host for your own videos if you wish. I know Ray uses it as a home server, and he has all his music on it, and he can listen to any of it any place he's at, as long as he can connect. He can then connect to his server. But Plex is also one of the free services that stream, and they just added 13 new live TV channels, and they've got a lot of streaming channels in the service, and it's one that I have and I use quite often on my smart TVs.
So Huey, is it free?
Yes.
Plex is free,
Against
really?
commercials.
Ah, so
It's
so
commercial or ads.
it has commercials and ads, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So the other big article, and there's probably a lot more of this that's coming on in news articles, is of course this is not Google. Chat-gpt isn't Google, and this is shaking the foundation. I'm sure Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, is sort of shaking in his boots right now. He's shaking so much, he got the two co-founders of Google to come back and talk a little bit about how they're going to be managing their strategy and ramping up AI. So this is how Google solves its AI conundrum. I mean, they have AI, but they're not marketing it like Chat-gpt. So they're needing to boost up their system. We're going to see a lot of stuff from Google coming out now as they try to compete.
And one of the reasons that Microsoft has invested so much in Chat-gpt is the fact that they want to connect it to their Bing search engine.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
they can outdo Google.
That's right. I love it. This is great. This is really good. Bob, this was interesting. We don't talk a lot about YubiKeys and keys. We talk a lot about two-factor authentication, but I think people have to remember that there actually are keys that you can plug in your computer, and like a key for a car, and you plug it in, and it turns it on. This is now iOS makes it super hard to hack your iCloud account because they now have the keys.
Well, the keys have been around for quite some time, but they've also been pretty expensive. And I imagine the more you use these keys, because they're more secure than anything else out there,
Right.
the cheaper they'll eventually get. And
Right.
probably all of us, besides carrying a key to get into the house, you'll have your yerba or whatever manufacturer you have,
Right.
right? To make sure that when you log into your device, it's safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. Huey, let's before we as we're waiting here, why don't we do any comments?
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me switch back to StreamYard. I've been looking at it through Facebook.
Mhm.
So let's see. I think we're here.
Olive says, Bob, can you put a link to the trip you wrote before? Can you put a link to the trip? Oh, it's on his website or on his YouTube channel. I think you can put the YouTube link in there, Bob, if you
We don't have a way of doing that.
Well, you could. No, we can't. Yeah, for technical reasons, we can't do that. But if you just go to Bob's YouTube channel, it's right there. It's on there. Clark says, right, Ray is right. I was in engineering college in 1973, and a student bought a HP calculator. Yes. Clark says, we had to use slide rule. What's a slide rule? Now calculators are required in middle school. Gosh, I don't even use a slide rule. I think we had calculators.
Well, you must be younger. We didn't have calculators back then. We had slide rules.
Slide rules, eh? Did we get them all, Huey?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Okay. Let's come down.
Yeah, and of course, he says that now calculators are required in middle school. In a lot of schools, they require a Chromebook, and they actually provide them for all of the students in kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and third grade in some schools.
Well, now that you just happened to mention that, the article was Lenovo launches new Chromebooks for students with unique features to aid in learning. So lots of different options.
There's that same article. You can skip that.
Same article.
I thought this was interesting, so I put it up. It's information about the company that is Chat-gpt.
Mm-hmm.
And
is that their building? Is that their headquarters?
That's their headquarters in San Francisco.
Right.
They were founded 7 years ago, which I mentioned. There's some of the founders, and if you click on that, there's some of the key people, and the products are the DALL-E, the GPT-3, Open AI 5, Chat-gpt, and Open AI Codex. And they have 375 people as of 2023 as employees.
Interesting. I wonder where all their servers. They must have a massive amount of servers. Like there must be a big data farm somewhere that they have, eh?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Man, oh man, yeah. This is yours here.
Yeah, it's the inside story of Chat-gpt, how OpenAI founder Sam Altman built the world's hottest technology with billions from Microsoft. It's a really long article, but it really gives you the history of how it all happened and so on. It's a very good article. And I do recommend here in the beginning where we're just learning about all this stuff. It's a good background for people to read.
It's interesting because it's so good. Like, I mean, that's the thing that we're all impressed about. It's just how did they do it? You know, like it's so much better than existing stuff. Like, how did they come up with this?
It's almost as exciting as the first day I put my 300 baud modem in my Osborne and watched all of these letters go across the screen from some other computer somewhere across the country. It was almost as exciting as that.
Good example.
Yeah. Bad news, eh?
Yeah, Microsoft is laying off 10,000 employees while they take $10 billion and put it into OpenGPT.
That's why they're laying off 10,000 employees.
Yeah.
Ray, Netflix.
Well, say it isn't so. They're really going to be serious, I think, about making sure that people don't share the password to get into Netflix with people who are outside their home. And they're going to be looking at IP addresses. And they're talking about doing this by the end of March. They, of course, hope this will, people who are bounced off using a friend's service will now buy their own. Time will tell if that'll happen.
So the families have to be in the same house to be able to use it?
That's the way it is. That's the way the rule is now. But there's been no policing. If you give your password to your daughter, as an example, who lives in a different part of the country or the world, she can use it by getting in. That's what they're going to put a stop to by looking at the IP addresses that are signing on.
Oh, interesting.
But as I mentioned in my piece on Monday, if you have T-Mobile as your phone provider, you can get Netflix for free through the service. It's one of their benefits.
Depends on the plan you have.
Yes.
Because it's not for all plans. If you have the senior plan, it's not available. If you have the top tier, you do get it for free.
Now I'm on one of their senior plans and I've got it.
Ray, what's USB-C features?
Well, this is a really nice article about. I'm a big fan of USB-C. My desktop computer that I bought about 2 years ago came with a USB-C connection, and I use that all the time to charge my cell phone. I got a cable hanging out, and anytime I need my phone charged, I just plug it in because that's one of the features that it does. Article points out all these unique features, but the one that I think most people will love is it doesn't matter which way it's turned when you plug it in, it connects. You don't have that which we do with USB-A, where you're hoping you're plugging it in right. So, but this is a good article about giving all the other factors that come into using USB-C, and it is the wave of the future.
Yeah, and European countries have designated USB-C as a standard, and they are going to require iPhones to have it. So most likely, Apple's not going to have two different types of connectors. So probably in the near future, the new versions of the iPhone will have a USB connector instead of their Lightning one that they have now.
One of the things that's really important, I think, to understand about USB-C is that the cables often are different. And let me explain a couple of things. The first is that not all USB-C cables are bidirectional. They're used for charging, but a lot of them are not. You're not being able to transfer. You're not transferring data. And it's a big problem because, like, for me, I have a whole bunch of USB-C cables sitting around at my office here, right? Tons of them. And I always, when I go to my GoPro and I have my videos I want to upload onto my computer, I always grab. Did we just get lost?
I think so. I got kicked off, but it gave me the opportunity to come back on.
Yeah, I think we're back on now. What happened? We're back. We're back.
It's easier to reconnect in StreamYard than it is in Zoom.
Yeah. And everyone's still listening to us. Sorry, folks.
I hope they're all there.
Yeah, it looks like they're all there. I mean, they're all there. So hopefully they, I think, anyway.
Now, what were we talking about?
Yeah, anyway, so you have to be careful with the cables because I always grab the wrong cable, and when I plug my GoPro into the computer, it says it can't find it. It's the wrong cable. So I guess my comments to everybody is, please, if you have problems, change the cable. It's likely a cable problem, right?
Yeah, if you're going to buy a cable, get the ones that are braided. Those are typically the higher quality. I predict that a rule will be passed that all cables have to be labeled as what they are capable of doing via USB-C. That'll solve the problem.
Right.
Yeah, and there's also fast charging, and not all cables are capable of doing fast charging.
Right. But typically, if it's braided, it's going to be a good cable.
All right. CEO Ray, this is yours.
Yeah, and I think we can see. We're not showing it to the others now, but that's actually the same article that Yui talked about in the beginning, where Now, the Sam Altman, right, only 37 years old. I love the fact that he's a Stanford University dropout.
Yes.
That shows you what you can do.
There you go. There you go. Bob, this is your article, Windows 11 Notepad, right?
Yeah,
It's not an article, it's a video.
I know. Yeah. Good. All right. We'll probably play that on Monday, the Monday show, eh? We'll line it up for the Monday show.
Yeah, we're not showing these to the audience when we lost connection.
Right.
Are they not? Have they not come back in?
They've come back in, but you haven't changed it.
You haven't shared
the Facebook page.
You have not shared.
Oh, all right. Oh, I see. Okay. Let me. Sorry about that. Here we go. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now you.
There we go. All right. We're getting pretty close to the end anyway. We only got 5 minutes left. Okay. So anyway, Bob, we'll do that on Monday. Appliance makers.
I thought you were doing a tax one on Monday.
Oh, all right. You do too many videos, Bob.
Well, you got your timetables a little mixed up on Monday.
All right, we'll work on that.
It makes no difference.
All right. This was interesting, and I just throw this article out. I saw this. Appliance makers said that 50% of customers won't connect their smart appliances. So very interesting that all the fridges and stoves and everything people are buying, they all are now Wi-Fi enabled, but people aren't connecting them.
No, the word.
Yeah, I've got a microwave, and when we lost power for that last big storm, I never reset up the connection for it to be on my IoT.
Mm-hmm.
And is that appliance makers are sad or are said? Is this a typo or is that
sad?
They're sad that they're not hooking it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they use the word "won't," I don't think it's a choice. I think some people just don't even want to bother.
So I get
pay the extra.
Yeah, and anyway, interesting article. We talked about that for a while. Let's just get on. This was the one that it's called the Garmin is VENU 2 Plus, and this is the model of the watch. And what I will tell everybody who's listening here, if you are considering buying this watch, and you're a snowbird coming down from Canada or you're traveling in the United States, then what you want to do is you want to put the app on the watch while you're in the United States, because it will then work, and then you can travel around the rest of the world with it, and it'll do your ECG for you. But it's geographically locked to the United States because it's only approved in the United States. But if you're here, you can actually activate it while you're here, and then you're good to go. So yeah, I just wanted to let everybody talk about that. Was this
somebody had asked Monday if there was a way to see what the data breaches are, and here's a report that talks about all of the data breaches from 2022. And you have to fill out a form, but if you only put in your name, I think a company name, and you can put whatever company you want in there, and I think either a phone number or an email address. You don't have to fill out the rest of it, and it'll download automatically. But it's also the same website. If you go to them, they do maintain the latest list of breaches.
Okay. Well, but we've got anybody else? Have we got anything in the comment section there?
Let's see. Let me get down to the end and see where we left off here.
Dick says, I still have several slide rules. Oh, really?
Museum.
Did Apollo use slide rule? Yeah.
Probably.
Clark says, yes, when the schools were closed because of COVID, they gave all the middle and high school students a Chromebook. Oh,
Yep.
really? Cool. Interesting. Geek Wireless, greetings from Troy, Michigan. We still have 7 inches of beautiful snow from yesterday PM. I had a HP 35 in 1975. Mike says, don't forget to give the channel a thumbs up before you leave. Thanks,
Yeah.
Mike, for reminding. Please give
Even
us
though we had a glitch. Give us a thumbs up anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't our
Yeah.
fault. We didn't do anything wrong. You know, Steve said iPhone have been using USB-C since the iPhone 12. Yes,
Well, I didn't know that.
indeed.
Okay.
Ivana says, everyone have a great day, everyone. Yes, and if you have a Chromebook, be sure and come and see us. Clark says, we only see you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we lost the
That's,
connection.
yeah. Geek Wireless, I still have my yellow metal picket slide rule. Well, I guess that's dating us a little, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess that's dating it. Well, listen, it's top of the hour. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, everyone. And I want to thank the whole panel for coming again this week. It's always a blast. We have a lot of fun doing this. And we'll see you back next week for another great show. And Huey and I will be starting the Learning Chromebook in probably about 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes. On the half hour, I will start the room, so we'll have a little social gathering before it starts at 2 o'clock.
Oh, that'd be good. Super duper.
Or 2 o'clock Eastern time.
Sure. Okay, that's great. So that's only in about 30 minutes from now.
That's correct. Yep.
Thanks, everyone, for coming. And don't forget, Monday show. We got a big show for you Monday. You don't want to miss it. Talk soon. All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.